The final week of the NFL season is upon us. It is week 18. And a very, very interesting week 18, I might add. Nice job by the NFL on the scheduling.
Yeah, beautiful.
I might say so. Yeah, very, very nice. And we're going to run through it all. Alongside Matt Prisco, I'm Tuck Silva. How's everybody doing? How are you?
Much better this week, Tuck. How about you?
Good. Yeah, we're doing good.
Back.
We had a, excuse me, I'm coming off a sinus infection. And, I still got some
Schmegma?
Yeah, that's yucky things coming out of my body.
Yeah. Beautiful colors.
So excuse my clearing of throat and nose throughout this podcast, but the arrow is pointing up, I will say that. So before we get to week 18 and run through our likes and our best bet, why don't you just run through our week 17 recap, if you could do so?
Yeah, would love to, Tuck. Week 17, looks like you were 2-3, but did hit your best bet with the Bears.
All right, felt very good about that one.
There you go. You did. You said that on the show.
Did, yep.
You felt good about it. Really never in doubt there either, so a nice play there with the Bears, -3. Lions +5.5 on Saturday night. That was a late cover and a controversial game at that.
I felt confident about that one, too.
Yeah, that was... They
dominated that game.
They did, and when Dallas was up 7, it was still the right side. The Lions are still the right side.
Yep.
So hit there. Dolphins +3.5 loss. They got buried again on the road in Baltimore. Seahawks -3.5. Disappointing game for them.
No show.
Losing outright to Pittsburgh.
Defense didn't show up.
And then this one I bet stung you the most with the Bengals +7. They were covering the majority of that game, outright winning for.
They were covering 80% of the game, I'd say.
And then the late field goals pushed the Chiefs to 8. And
Butker went 6 for 6, right?
Yeah. Insane.
What are you going to do there? Yeah. I thought it was the right side.
Yeah, one of those losses that you were on the right side there. So 2-3 for you. On the flip side for myself, I was 3-1 and a very annoying push as well. So 3-1-1. Houston, my best bet, another winner there, another easy winner there.
Unbelievable.
Never in doubt on that one. Indianapolis, that push drove me bananas. Up in that whole entire game.
Yeah.
From opening kick, they take it right down the field, go up 7-0. Covering that number until a 4th down with Vegas down 10. Just kick the field goal. You still won possession. That drove me crazy. Devontae Adams touchdown. Push. What are you going to do? Giants +6 winner. Almost won that game outright against the Rams. Played out pretty much exactly like I said I thought it would. And Tampa, I told you that was going to lose.
Yep.
And I played it, and it was square, and it lost. So there you go. I mean, they couldn't have looked worse. The Saints were.
I had a bad feeling about that one.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it, too. I just knew it, but instead of fading Baker, I played on him, and they still decided to dick punch me. So, fuck you, Baker. In Green Bay, Sunday night, easy winner there. Had the plus points, +2 there. Had easy win. So 3-1-1 for me on that one. Overall records, Tuck, 45-38-1, 5-12 on your best bets. My overall record now 46-36-2. 14-3 on the best bets.
All right. Well, before we get into our 4 likes and our best bet, and we cover the rest, I'm kind of getting annoyed, to be honest with you.
With what?
Our listeners.
What are they doing? Not liking.
They're not liking.
Like.
I'm going on YouTube. I'm seeing the views.
The views are there.
I'm going on our podcast. The listens are there. It's not corresponding to the likes, guys.
Yeah, like. Just hit like.
All you have to do is hit the thumbs up on YouTube.
Just quick
I can't tell you how much that helps us, so please do that.
Yeah, just do it.
Like us on YouTube for the love of all things holy.
Would be
just fucking thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
5-star review on Apple, nice. wherever you can rate a podcast. Fucking do it, please.
Yeah, little click on the Spotify. All you do, right? Little 5-star.
Just once. That's all we ask. That's all. It's very simple. Follow us on our socials, @Bettor in Laws. You know, all the fucking socials out there.
TikTok is just blowing up.
How is TikTok?
TikTok's doing all right. You know, it's fun. We had a couple videos. Videos with over 3,000 views.
Wow, okay. I'm not on TikTok because I don't want China to get my information.
Well, China has my vision. They can see my eyeballs. They're tracking my eyes, and I'm probably now an avatar for an AI file somewhere out in the world, and that's fine with me because we got over 600 likes on one of these videos.
Which one?
Patrick Mahomes, you're a baby.
You get 600 likes for that one? Wow, good for you.
Because the people agree.
Very good.
They get it. They get it.
Awesome.
Another 300 on another one. TikTok's blowing up. Same videos as Instagram, but we still like to post everywhere we can and just trying to get more visibility. So as Tucker's saying, like, rate, helps the algorithm.
Follow.
Helps the algorithm.
Takes 2 seconds. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
All right, so let's jump ahead to our 4 likes here to start. I'm seeing a couple bets against each other. A nice way to wrap up the week here. Where do you want to start? I'm going to start with my first like here because it's an early game.
I knew this was coming.
Yeah, and I said it last week,
Yeah.
honestly. And help me out with the number here because
gotcha.
I've seen this all over the board. I want the best possible number on this because it is an aggressive under.
Yeah, I think you got it right now.
Steelers,
36.5.
Steelers, Ravens, under 36.5. These teams have gone under in 6 straight games against each other. In 5 of 6 games in this trend have failed to cross 30 points, including 2 games last season with Tyler Huntley, who's expected to be the starter this coming week because the Ravens obviously have nothing to play for. Why roll out any of your starters, really? So 2 of those games when Huntley was the starter, they didn't cross 30 points. In Huntley's 6 starts last season, he had an average combined score, the average combined score was 26.8 points. And just as an example, I just pulled up their schedules from this year, 17-10, and last year, 16-13, and 16-14. Steelers, Ravens, under 36.5.
Yeah, hard to argue it. It's happened so often. What, 6 straight, did you say?
6
6
straight.
Yeah, that sounds about right. These 2 teams, they just know each other. They play hard against each other. It's a throw out the stats game, right? I mean, Tuck, on paper, I made this game. What I did this week is I made my lines as if every team had everybody playing and then adjust based off what's going to happen, at least what I think is going to happen, and made completely different numbers from that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't played this yet, but I am leaning very heavily to the Ravens here, plus 3.5, even with Tyler Huntley playing. Not a play for me or anything quite yet, but maybe a little Saturday play for me here.
To be 3.5 point home dogs, and again, I know all the starters aren't playing. It's still a divisional game.
And there's only 54 guys on these rosters. I mean, even if you bench players, people have to play.
Not to mention,
you can't just bench everybody.
Not to mention how banged up this Ravens team is, and it's still amazing what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
but look at the pieces they've lost.
Their depth they're deep. They're like the 49ers. Those teams are very deep. The backups can come in. They're good NFL players. They're not like...
Sure, yeah.
Then there's teams like the Rams. We'll talk about this. But then there's teams like the Rams who just they have superstars or stiffs, and they're just kind of glued together.
You're going to see Gus Edwards and Justice Hill still.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely's going to be out there because he's young. Rashard Bateman's young. He's going to be out there. Plus 3.5. I don't mind that either.
I made the game... 9 points. You're telling me that because Lamar's not going to play, this is like a 9 plus 3, 12.5 point swing? It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I lean the Ravens here.
Well, I'm on the under for this one, 36.5, and I think a little bit of that offensive magic for the Steelers runs out in Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree.
Too. So there's that. All right, what is your first like here? Because
I'll skip the one that was. You want?
No, just skip that because we're going against each other.
Yeah, we'll skip to that. All right, I'm going to Dallas and Washington. Let's jump to that one.
This was very, 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 very close to being a double like.
Okay.
Very close.
I'm laying the wood here with the Cowboys. Controversial win last week against the Lions. Sure, call what you want.
They lost the game.
I'll call Dan Campbell a bozo. I'm sorry. I think it's your fault, Dan Campbell, for trotting 3 linemen at a referee and just having one guy say he's eligible. That's on you. Also, trying to go for 2 from the 7 is the most idiotic thing you can possibly do.
That's the dumber thing.
So, screw you, Dan Campbell, and I don't care. You deserve to lose that game as far as I'm concerned, and everybody knows me. I'm not a Cowboys fan at all. So, that said, Cowboys take advantage. They win. Philly loses. Dallas in the driver's seat for the 2 seed. And boy, do they need that and are going to need it because Dallas at home versus Dallas on the road, well, they're 2 different teams, except for the fact that Dallas on the road here, and why am I laying 13, Tuck?
It's the fucking Commanders. That's
Commanders. They're so bad. They don't want to win this game.
Yeah, they're going to lock up the number 2 pick.
Exactly. Potentially, and we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
I have all these scenarios today, guys. I've been in the lab.
I definitely want to run through these scenarios.
I've been in the lab. But Dallas, I just think this is a good ass-kicking spot, right? I know they already kicked their ass on Thanksgiving. I was on the Commanders in that game. On the flip here, I just think Dallas is going to be blowing them out. Not a lot of stats on today's show, guys. It's Week 18. You got to kind of throw this stuff to the wind.
Right.
It's a lot about motivational tactics, and that's the play here. So before I jump into this handicap, I did want to mention, be very careful Week 18. A lot of these lines look tricky. There's reasons that the lines look the way they do, so just be careful before you bet. Listen to the show. It'll be good. Dallas, I just think they're going to smoke them. I mean, I think at this point, they now they're in the driver's seat. They're not as bad on the road. They're 10-4 in their last 14 ATS on the road, which I found interesting because you just look at them and you're like, oh, they just don't play as good on the road, which it is true. They're a much better home team, still 10-4 in the last 14 on the road ATS. It's a big number. I made the game 10, but I'm still playing Dallas, so that tells you. I just think the Commanders are in full tank mode. I think they want the highest pick they can possibly get here, and they can get as high as 2. With Chicago clinching the 1 pick through Carolina last week. So I think Washington wants that pick. I think they don't care about this game. I don't think they care that it's a rivalry game. I think you'll see Sam Howell play just because. I think they think Jacoby Brissett is better at this point, and I don't think they want to win at all. So give me the Cowboys here. I think they take this team to the woodshed and get right for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, they're going to lock up the NFC East, right?
Yes.
I mean, unless the only thing holding them back from the NFC East is losing, which they're not going to do.
Nope, not going to do it now.
And
Thanks,
Philly winning. So, yeah, there you go, NFC East champs.
Do you want me to start? Because I take a different approach to Week 18 and how I gamble. I am playing the 5 games that I've set aside here that I'm calling out. But there's another approach that I take more than ever, and it's about scenario betting. So a team like Dallas, I already buried them first half. Why? Motivation, right? So they're going to come out. They want to score fast, get out early. These are the days that I look to play. It was -7. It's up to 7.5. I still like it. This team's going to want to start hot. When you have a must-win game, you want to get out to a fast spot. On the contrary, we have to look at scoreboard watching playing. So when you get to the Giants and Philly, a game that neither one of us have, so I'll talk about it now. It's a perfect example to talk through.
Yeah, the 4:30 Sunday game.
Yep, exactly. So both of these games will be 4:30. And now we're looking and we're like, okay, Philly starting at 4:30, they're also going to want to start hot. So what am I going to do? I'm going to play Philly first half as well because they're going to come out motivated as well. You just got to be careful with Philly. So we'll talk about that when we get there
be very careful with their first half.
Well, just in general, but
because of the way they're playing right now.
Yes, but the deal.
I understand the logic.
The concept that we're talking about here is look to play the motivated teams first half. But fade the teams like Philly in the second half. Because if I get to halftime and I want to know what's the score of that Dallas game, and it's 28-3 or it's 24-3, what effort are you getting from Philly in the second half? I think they start to rest guys in the second half if that game gets out of control because they're locked into the 5 seed.
Good point.
So I'm looking to actually play Philly early, but also fade them late because I think Dallas is going to blow out Washington. So I'm playing Dallas first half, Dallas full game, Philly first half, Giants full game. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of the more complex weeks in sports gambling across the board.
Yeah.
Really is this week.
Sure is.
And motivation is a huge part of that, as you mentioned. Yeah.
It's just my strategy that I play in the last week of the year, and it's done well for me over the years. I mean, you're not going to hit every single one. Like Tuck said, be very careful with Philly. I mean, they're a team that who the hell wants to bet on them right now, the way they're playing. But end of the day, not every bet's going to hit no matter what scenario you play, but this is just one that I like.
Well, yeah, and good job by the NFL, right?
Yeah, this is exactly what you want.
Look at all the 1 o'clock garbage you have across the board.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And then you just load up the 4:30 games, and it's going to be elite television, a red zone, if you will.
And the couple Saturday games are nice.
Yeah. So
Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Saturday.
That's pretty good. And then, the Texans,
Houston,
Colts. Holy
Colts. I can't
shit.
wait. I wanted to bet that game on the card, but
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll talk about that one because I have a very interesting angle on that one.
Love it.
All right, so my second like here, give me the Lions -3. Easily the squares play on the board, but I'm just looking at the mentality of this head coach, Dan Campbell. We just talked about what happened in Dallas and how aggressive Dan Campbell is, and he continues to be, which I do respect. I mean, the punt, the fake punt on their own, 26 or whatever it was, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that because he's looking at it as just like, okay, well, we just forced a turnover with the touchback with CeeDee Lamb. We got lucky there, so fuck it.
Yeah.
I think that was the same thing,
it was,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's like, all right, well, we're just going to go for a fake punt. There you go. But yeah, he was livid after the game, and I understand why he was with the referees and everything. And I think this is a perfect, let's get right for the playoffs. Let's not take our foot off the gas pedal. The Vikings could not be more of a mess right now. We don't know who the starter is at this moment, recording on Wednesday afternoon. It doesn't matter. That whole situation is a friggin' disaster.
Yeah.
If they keep going to Nick Mullins or Jaron Hall last week, who lasted a half, Josh Dobbs, are we going to see him? I don't know. Jordan Addison has a bad high ankle sprain. He played, but he's definitely more of a decoy.
Yeah.
It's just a mess in Minnesota, and I'm adding that into this as well. Wonder if the Lions maybe rest up a bit in the second half if they get up big, but still, I think they can cover 3 at home, and this isn't going to be that close, if you ask me.
The one thing that concerns me here is I feel like somebody knows something. This game the other day I was looking at it, and right in front of my eyes, I shit you not, I was on FanDuel, and I'm looking at this game, and it's Detroit -5.5. And instantly
Went to 3?
goes to 3. And I'm like, that's a big jump. So
What day was this?
This was Monday afternoon? Or, hold on, I'm getting confused. What day is today? Wednesday. Yeah, it was Monday. Monday night, late Monday afternoon. And I'm like, what's going on here? And this is where we say just be careful in Week 18. It could be nothing. It could be like, hey, somebody thought it was too many points. I don't. I made the game Lions -7.5, so... on an even playing field, everybody playing.
But do you see any pullback from the Lions here?
Probably not. I mean, the one thing to be concerned of, just looking at my phone here for scenarios, they are tied with Dallas now. Obviously, Dallas the tiebreaker after last week for the 2 seed.
Like
so actually, if Dallas did ever lose,
which
they
play
could
at 4:30.
They play later, right? So there's a reason to play. You get the 2 seed. Still not a bye, but it's the more home games, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to rest guys.
They're at home.
The thing's weird. It's just weird. Why?
I know it's weird.
They go 2.5 points in one play. That's.
I acknowledge it's weird.
Somebody knows something.
I acknowledge it's a square play. I'm going with
I faded Minnesota. We talked about this last week. Their run's over. It was a great story.
Yeah, they've thrown their hands up.
What they've accomplished this year with all their injuries, kudos to them. But we saw the blueprint last week with Green Bay, and I can't even if the Lions sit guys, 3 feels manageable to me.
Yeah, so I'm going with it. Lions -3, second like for me.
All right, buddy. I am gonna go for my second like. I'm going to the Seattle Seahawks Arizona Cardinals game. Seattle laying
I have a play in this as well, so continue.
2.5 points on the road, and. I looked at this game long and hard, and it was at 3 when I started looking at it. Didn't love it, but now at 2.5, I have to do it, and it's the Seahawks. I'm taking Seattle here. Last week, Seattle was awful. Arizona won their best game of the year. I mean, you could say the game against Dallas early on, but that game against Philly, with everything that was on the line for Philly, Arizona going across the country and winning that game was something unbelievable, and a thank you from the 49ers fan to make this week nice and relaxing for me. Seattle, though, how bad were they? I mean, Pittsburgh just running all over them. Najee Harris is his best game since Alabama. All of a sudden, they couldn't tackle Najee Harris. I'm like, what's happening here? How the hell are they going to stop James Conner? Well, this is the exact scenario I love to play and has won me money time and time again. If a team looks terrible the week before, don't overreact. Seattle's the play here. I'm taking the Seahawks. It's a must-win scenario for them. The big game, they lost the 7 seed last week, losing that game to Pittsburgh, but they still sit in that 8 spot. They have to win the game. They need Green Bay to lose against Chicago. That game will be interesting. So either way, Tuck, I think we could both agree that the Packers-Bears game is probably going to be a close game, at least on paper, right? So the way that I'm looking at it is Seattle, just take care of business, worry about, let that game play out, and you control what you can control. What you can control is going into Arizona and winning. I think it's going to be a tough spot, even though Arizona is going back home. I think it's a tough spot for them. Get back at it. I mean, it's a huge motivational win. Jonathan Gannon, after the game, said Kyler Murray's our franchise quarterback. Like, that's got to be motivating for him.
Honestly,
and he should.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
The way he's come off of IR has been incredible.
Yeah, he's been great. But the talent gap here is still significant. Let's be honest. I mean, Arizona played well over their heads last game. This is a division game, so it's going to come back to earth. I think it's going to be close. But in the end, I think the Seahawks win this game by a field goal or more. So give me the Hawks here in a game they must win. Too much talent for Seattle to lose to Pittsburgh at home and Arizona on the road to end their season.
All right, my third like, I'm sticking with this game. Give me the over in this one, 47.5. Every home game in Arizona has gone over. In 7 home games, the average combined score is 55 points, and Arizona has allowed 5 of their 7 opponents at home to reach at least 31 points. This one has shootout written all over it. I think that Arizona sticks very close to Seattle there. Wouldn't shock me if Seattle ekes it out like you're saying at all, because what's the Seattle playoff picture?
They need to win in a Green Bay loss.
In a Green Bay loss, that's what it is. Okay, which is not out of the realm of possibility there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be competitive. It's going to be high scoring. Give me the over 47.5.
All right, I like that. These teams, even though it's a division game, these teams do play more high-scoring games than they do low-scoring.
Yeah, I mean, the Seattle offense last week wasn't the main issue. It was the defense.
The defense.
I mean, you put up, what was it, 23 points last week against Pittsburgh's defense? Whatever it was.
Yeah, they were over 20.
In the mid to high 20s, whatever it was. I don't have it in front of me, but still, they
hung in. It was
pretty
the defense.
good,
It was terrible. That's the concern betting Seattle. Is just James Conner's looked great.
Yeah.
He really has.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he has. All right, so your third like, it will be my final like because we're going against each other.
All right, I'll bump up here. So my third like, let's do the head-to-head. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears +3.
And I'm Packers -3.
And Tuck is going with the Packers -3. So you want me to start here?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Bears +3. Look, they've lost 9 in a row, even straight ATS against the Packers. Everybody knows Green Bay owns Chicago.
That they do.
Jordan Love has a $2 million incentive to make the playoffs, so he's going to come extra motivated just from a financial standpoint. But Bears 7-5 in the last 12. They're playing as good a football that I can even remember. I know they're in the playoffs and the double doink and all that, but this is as good as they have been playing in a very long time. Justin Fields really starting to settle in. You heard the crowd chanting they wanted to keep Fields last week. What a decision that's going to have to be because they now have that number 1 pick, as we talked about earlier. Fields is as well as the Bears have played. He's still 5 touchdowns to 5 turnovers over their last 5 games. So, he's still. If I'm a Bears fan, I still want to move on. I think we can get more in a package for the pick, but I think you can also still get something very nice for Fields. There's value. He's a starting quarterback in this league. He's proven that. But for him, his guys are rallying around him. DJ Moore coming out talking about how the ownership definitely heard the fans and how they all want to be there. And the players are rallying around Fields saying that they want him to stay or they don't want to be in Chicago. That is a huge rallying point. This game means a lot to Chicago. They know they've lost 9 in a row to the Packers. They know that Aaron Rodgers called Jordan Love earlier this year to say, good job beating the Bears. We still own them. They hear this. They know all of it. So what a better time for the Bears to finally break this streak. The other thing is, I think this game should be a pick 'em. These two teams are playing about... I think the Bears are playing a little bit better than the Packers, quite honestly. I made the game Packers -1, but I think here the Bears are the better football team as of late. I mean, the defense has been awesome since Montez Sweat got there. They're the third best defense overall behind San Francisco and Baltimore, who are the 2 1 seeds, right? So the stretch that the Bears have been on has been more about defense for me. And the one area that I'm concerned about Green Bay is their defense, right? I know they played better against Minnesota last week, but this Bears team's going to come motivated. I know it's at Lambeau. I know it's a primetime spot on Sunday afternoon, but I love this game. I'm excited for this game, so I wanted something on it. Yeah. I think the Bears finally at least cover the number. I think they can squeak out a win. I'm not going to say they win, but I think they can squeak it out. Packers win, they're in. So.
Yeah, that's the thing for me, and I love the Jordan Love factor here, the $2 million. I did not know that, so add that to my list here. But Justin Fields versus the Packers, quarterback rating 72.8, 4 touchdowns, 7 picks. Tough place to play in December. I think it's as simple as that. Yeah, I like where this Bears organization's heading. I said that last week. I do think that the Packers will likely get back more key pieces with Wicks and Watson. They're both listed as questionable. Devondre Campbell, he's listed as questionable. Jari Alexander is going to be playing, right?
Yeah,
after his
mental case.
His suspension, but still, that's going to be a key piece for that defense, which has been absolutely putrid. But I thought they showed me something on Monday Night Football in Minnesota. You know, they absolutely smashed Minnesota.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that was just a tune-out game really, really quick. So I'm on the other side. I think that Packers win. They're in, obviously. So, you know, that's what they do in Lambeau in December. They win. Giving the Packers -3.
All right.
We go against each other.
Best of luck.
I do like the over in that game. I will say that, though.
Be some points scored in that game.
44 it's at.
Yeah, I could see it. It's going to be a good game. I'm excited. I think this is the second best game of the day.
All right, your final like on the slate here, because this one did surprise me a little bit.
This one?
Yeah, considering you've been beating the drum of the team.
Yeah, last game of the night, Sunday Night Football, Buffalo Bills -3 at Miami, and I am taking the Dolphins. +3. Point fact, simple. This line has moved too much. I do think the Bills are the better team right now, and Miami has had some injuries. But everything we see with Miami, this line moved because of how Baltimore beat them last week, but that's who Miami is on the road. We talk about this all year long. They just can't win on the road. It's whatever reason, they don't show up. They don't play as well against good teams on the road. What they do is show up and beat teams at home. And yes, I do know they have injuries. They lost Bradley Chubb to an ACL. Who knows about Waddle? Probably unlikely, still with a high ankle sprain. But I don't know. It's too early in the week to find anything out.
The Chubb injury is huge.
The Chubb one is huge.
Yeah.
That said, I don't like the way the Bills played last week either. The Patriots wanted to win that game. They should have won the game. Like, they made more mistakes turning the ball over. Like, they're still doing stupid things in Buffalo. As good as as good as they've played, and
they were gifted 4 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, exactly.
Gifted.
And they were still like, hey, New England, do you want to win this game? And you're a much better team than New England. That was a step on their throat scenario.
That's what Buffalo's been doing all year, though. Right? They play down to their opponent, and they don't really, slam it home, if you will.
Agreed. They slammed it home on Miami earlier this year, though, and I don't think they're going to forget that. So here we go. I think this is a nice revenge spot. It's for the division. It's for the 2 seed. Everything online. People waving to us. They're going to like Miami.
What's up?
Dolphins +3 here. I think this game's going to be awesome. I actually think it's going to be lower scoring than the first affair because I think both pass defenses are much improved as of late. Rasul Douglas trade has really shored up the Bills' secondary through all their injuries. And since Jalen Ramsey's come back, the Dolphins' pass defense has been much better.
49.5.
And it keeps ticking up.
That is very big.
It got to 50. It got to 50, and then it came back down. I think we're talking that's mid-40s at best here. I think this game, Sunday night, lot of pressure in this game.
Okay.
So, tight assholes, loose lips, tight assholes. There'll be a lot of talking, but tight assholes. People are going to be nervous, a lot of running the ball. The Bills have become more of a running team. The Dolphins are going to get back to basics. They're at home. run the ball, open it up for Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying, again, I know we're talking 3 points here. I said it with the Bears. I'll say it with the Dolphins. I'm not promising you the Dolphins are going to win this game, but I feel very strongly getting 3 at home with a team who just fires on all cylinders at home all year long, beating Dallas, other good teams. Give me the Dolphins plus the points.
All right, so our likes so far for Week 18, Steelers, Ravens under 36.5, Lions -3, Packers -3, however, Matt is going against me at +3, Seahawks, Cards over 47.5, Matt's likes, besides the Bears +3, Dallas -13, Seattle -2.5, and as you just heard, Miami +3. What we normally do here is go through the rest, but I kind of want to go through all of your scenarios and your motivation factors instead of going through the rest.
Yeah, can do that.
Talk to me, because I really wanted to get your take, because I know you research all of this shit and I don't. So
Yeah. So you want to talk incentives? Do you want to talk about...
Let's do incentives.
Okay, incentives. A lot of guys playing for incentives, contract things we see like bonuses through that are in player contracts that players want to hit, right? Get that extra $250,000. Get the extra $2 million in Jordan Love's case by winning that game.
The only one that I heard of so far, and I haven't really dug too far into this, was Odell is like 5 catches away.
Odell, I got Odell on my list.
But there's also cases where the team might just give him the money anyways and make sure he's healthy.
Potentially.
So
like
disclaimer.
That is, Be careful in the scenarios, because in a case like Baltimore, where that's a guy that we may want to rest. So I have a list of guys that I've pulled out, and I'll tell you which ones I like, which ones I've played.
All right, hit me. Hit us.
So let's start with Odell Beckham. He's got 2 incentives, actually, in his contract. $250K to get 40 receptions. He's currently at 35. He's another $250K for 5 touchdowns, and he's currently at 3. So, with a 5-catch, 2-touchdown game for Odell, $500,000 in his bank. So
they'll just give that to him.
Think they'll just give it to him.
Yeah.
I think they're going to rest him. No play for me with Odell.
Yep.
One of the guys that I am playing, and I'm actually going to save. I'm going to save this because it ties to my best bet anyways. So I'll get back to that. We're saving it. So double best bet, because my incentive best bets are tied to my actual best bets.
Love it.
And it's totally unrelated anyways. Jordan Love, I already said that one. He's got his playoff thing there, so do what you will there. Calais Campbell on the defensive side, $500,000 bonus if he gets 8 sacks. He's currently at 5.5. I don't think he's getting 2.5 sacks, so don't worry about that. Jadeveon Clowney, incentive, $750,000 bonus for 9 sacks. He's currently at 8.5.
Okay.
He's interesting.
That's very interesting, yeah.
I think I'm going to play the over there, but I don't think he's going to play much. So I think they're going to give him a half, and if he doesn't make it, they'll pay him. But I am going to play that. Devin Singletary, this one's interesting. $125,000 bonus for 1,000 yards. May not seem like the biggest thing, but keep in mind he's a running back, and at that he's a backup running back who's now challenging for 1,000 yards. So that's $125,000. That's a lot of money for him.
How many yards does he need?
He's currently at 835, and he needs 1,000. So, but here's the thing: his prop's not going to come out at 120 yards.
Sure,
right? His prop's going to be like 60 yards, and so look around that. I like it up into the 90s. I think Houston, if they're going to win this game, is going to have to run the ball on the Colts a little bit.
So his I'm seeing a prop already for Devin Singletary.
Yeah, DraftKings got him out.
61.5.
Over. Bury it. That's a good one. That's a a playable play there. I think he hits that.
Love it. This is the shit I like.
Yep. This is what we're doing. Chris Jones, Week 18, contract incentive, $1.25 million bonus for 10 sacks. He's currently at 9.5, so he needs a half a sack to get that. Chris Jones.
Half a sack.
I don't know if you're going to play. I can't bet that one. That one scares me a little bit. It seems like he might just.
Chiefs need the rest.
Yeah, you need the rest badly. They're kind of locked into that 3 spot anyways. Austin Eckler. This one's interesting, Tuck, and I like this one. So $100K bonus for rushing receiving over 1,125 yards. He's currently at 1,010, so he needs 115. Is that right? 100
total yards.
110. Yeah, sorry. Yep, 115. He needs 115 rushing receiving yards total. I like it. I don't, because you're going to get something. What is it right now? I'd say it's probably around 85.
I'm not seeing anything now.
Nothing yet for that one. I think it's going to come in around 85.
See, I don't know how I feel about that one because he's been kind of the cheerleader behind the whole running back movement.
Yeah.
In terms of getting paid. So wouldn't they want to just keep that guy happy and give him his money even if he doesn't even hit the incentive?
Well, here's the deal with him. That team's playing, the Chiefs are going to play nobody. They're not playing Mahomes. They're going to play their skeleton crew, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing the Chargers are 3-point favorites, right? So, like, this is a day where everybody on the Chargers is out. They're not going to play Keenan Allen. They're not going to play, obviously, Herbert's out. They have injuries, but Eckler's been the one steady guy that's there. I think they're going to ride Eckler. I think they're going to try to get him his money that way.
Well, you've been seeing more of a mix between he and Spiller and not so much Josh Kelly anymore.
I also
you've been seeing Spiller a lot more.
I just don't think Eckler's long for the Chargers anyways. So I think they're going to give him his chance to make his money, and if he doesn't get there, see you later. So I'm playing Eckler. I'm playing it.
Okay.
I think you're going to see his rushing receiving come in the 80s when it pops, and I'm going to play the over.
All right, what else you got for me?
Get 3 more. Alexander Madison, $250K bonus for 750 rushing yards. He's currently at 659 going against the Lions.
He hasn't been playing a ton.
He hasn't been playing a ton. They started to play him a little bit more last week, so interesting one there. I still would play his over. I think you're going to get a low rushing total because Ty Chandler's been playing. So I think, what do you think that line's going to be? Is that one out yet? They start to pop on Wednesdays.
If I had to guess for somebody like Madison, I would guess 41.5.
Okay.
It is not out yet.
That
just because
not out yet. Okay.
He has sucked, and they've been playing Ty Chandler a lot more.
Yeah. So, and I agree. So if it's in the 40s, I think you got to play over. Give it a chance. I'm playing over. These are the things that I decide, like, I'll play. Dalton Schultz, 1 here. 1 here. 250K bonus for 60 receptions. He's currently at 54. Love that. I think he's going to be the main target for Stroud anyways.
He missed a couple of games, yeah.
Yeah, the Texans ones, look, they're playing for their playoff lives. They're not, unless there's a big lead, incentives you can throw out. But Schultz is still a very key weapon for Stroud, especially without Dell. And the Colts rank 8th worst against tight ends.
So receiving yards for Schultz is 42.5.
Okay.
And receptions.
Probably do a 4.5, I guess. Didn't see.
I'm not seeing receptions here.
No receptions.
Wait, I'm sorry. Nope, it's not there.
Not there yet. They start to come out with props on Wednesdays usually.
So I'm sorry. What is it again? He needs
6 catches for 200.
So that's probably why they're not out yet. I do like that receiving yards though. 42.5.
Yeah, I like that.
Got to play that.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
What do the Colts rank against opposing tight ends?
They're backwards 24th. They're 8th worst. That's what I
see.
I know. I got receptions right here, but nothing for him. I see what you're saying.
I want to circle back to that game, but keep going.
Yep, we will. We'll definitely talk to that one. My last one here that I pulled out was Levante David. Needs a half a sack for $150,000. You will be able to play defensive props, by the way, especially on Sunday.
Sure.
They do post those because of the incentives. Maybe heavily juiced, but keep in mind, Carolina's offensive line 27th in the NFL, stopping the pass rush. So I'm playing Levante David to get a sack on Sunday.
I love it. Love it. Anything else in terms of motivational factors or scenarios that you want to touch on?
Biggest thing is just keep in mind what teams are motivated. If they're playing a team that doesn't care, those are the teams you want to kind of bury early, first half bets. Scoreboard watching teams, if you think there's a scenario where something plays out that benefits. So this year we don't have the 1 seed up for grabs. That's usually a big one in week 18, but we don't have that. Both of those have been clinched. So really it comes down to division, comes down to making the playoffs. Those teams are the ones that you want to try to play early on and often from a motivation standpoint. Doesn't always pan out that way, right? I'm fading the Packers. If they win, they're in. Right, so, but I that's more about the Bears. I think the Bears will come just as motivated. When the teams come just as motivated, just go easy with.
Yeah, but why are the Bears that motivated?
First of all, it's a rival. They're playing as well.
Sure,
as they
from
want this game. All they hear is the Packers own them. The Packers own them. The Packers own them. They're playing well. They have the 1 pick already. the other pick, they'll just pick whenever they get it. Like, this game means something to them. They want to prove to ownership and to the GM that Justin Fields is the guy. Like, the defense have been playing their tits off. I can't imagine.
I just think that there's more motivation behind a team that is like, hey, we win, we're in. And that's the Packers. That's
I mean,
all.
look at, for a perfect example, let's look at week 18 last year. We saw on Sunday Night Football, Packers at home against Detroit. And Dan Campbell didn't have a scenario to get in the playoffs because Seattle had won earlier in the day and Detroit became eliminated. But at the same time, Dan Campbell said, like, hey, we're here for a reason. Let's keep them out of the playoffs. All of a sudden, if the Packers lose, Seattle gets in. That's how it was. It was a three-way tie where if Seattle had lost, they could play the Packers head-to-head for that spot. So you still get these teams. They still want to win these games, especially the division games. That's why the NFL does this with Week 18. Unless you have a high draft pick, these teams don't. They still want to win.
I will say that looking at this slate of games, that the Bears probably are the number one spoiler potential here.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So I understand where you're coming from on that. I do want to touch on this Texans-Colts game.
Yeah, let's do it.
It seems like everybody's going to be hammering the Texans -1, doesn't it?
Yeah. Texans were 1.5-point dogs at open. And they're now 1-point favorites. And I'm just waiting.
I don't think this is the Texans' year.
I think the Colts are going to win this game.
I do too.
And I don't want that.
No, I don't either.
Like, I'm rooting for Houston.
Texans are a much more rootable team, obviously.
They're both.
We've seen with C.J. Stroud and everything, but they're too banged up. They're way too banged up, and they're building something, but it's not their year. Sorry.
The Colts at home are just good at home, and I look, two young teams, two young head coaches, two young great head coaches.
Very well coached
right?
teams.
Like, I'm excited that this game's a primetime game. Both 9-7 teams, both could win the division, but also the wild card. Like, this game's huge. Right, the Jaguars, Texans, Colts, all tied at 9-7. The 7 seed right now in the AFC is the Colts. So the 8 seed is the Texans, but the AFC is just a dogfight for that last wild card spot. So we have really interesting scenarios coming out of the AFC. This division in particular, with 3 teams still alive, that's crazy. You also have the Steelers who are poking their heads in at 9-7. So both teams need this game. The loser's pretty much eliminated, you'd think. No, they're definitely. No, the loser of this game is
there
out.
are scenarios where, the losing team could still sneak in, right?
No? Because
what if the Jaguars lost?
The Jaguars lose, I think they're still in, but I think...
So I'm reading right now. Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's a good question.
Jacksonville wins, they're in.
Yes.
Jacksonville tie plus Indianapolis Houston tie. How the Jags can clinch a playoff berth. Jacksonville tie plus Pittsburgh loss or tie. Okay, so pretty much they're not getting it with a fucking tie.
They're not getting it with a tie. Yeah, like who's tying?
But Texans, Houston win or Jacksonville loss. Houston win or Houston tie plus Jacksonville loss.
Yeah, I think this loser is out. And I think the winner is.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the winner is in. I think the Steelers can still make it. If the Jaguars lose, the winner of this game would essentially win the AFC South. And if the Steelers win, they're in. I think the only way the Jags are in with a loss, if it's even possible, is they lose. The winner of this game wins the South.
So
they need the Steelers
let's just
to
call
lose.
let's just call a win and you're in, because there's too many tie bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
They're not going to fucking tie in week 18.
Not going to tie. Well, we saw it a few years ago.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, they tried. The Chargers the Chargers Raiders game was hilarious.
It's not going to happen. But if I had to lean aside here, give me the Colts.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not the Texans here.
It's just going to keep moving towards Houston. You're seeing 1.5s in market now. I haven't bet this game yet, but the more it goes towards Houston as like a 2, upwards of 2, like
yeah,
it's gonna be hard for me not to pull the trigger with Indy.
One game I'm just staying away from: Browns Bengals. Bengals -7. I'm at home. I'm just staying away from that. Eagles Giants. Giants +5.5. Do I think the Giants could cover this? Yeah, but I'm ultimately staying away from this because Philly could just wake the fuck up finally.
Philly first half, Giants full game. That's how I'm playing it.
Chiefs plus 3.5 on the road in LA. Like, I'm not going near that. Rams, 49ers 3.5. I'm not going near that.
I may.
In what aspect?
I think the Niners are going to play some guys. They don't want...
Who?
They're not... No, McCaffrey's out.
Yeah.
He's got a calf injury. He got hurt last week.
Like Debo will play a few snaps.
They're going to play a little bit. They're not going to play the full game. But they're going to play a little bit. But the Rams' backups are so bad, and there's a chance the Rams are actually going to sit guys. This is what I was talking about earlier. Teams like Baltimore, San Francisco have backups that are decent NFL players versus the Rams who, look, we saw what they did years ago. They went all for it. They got their Super Bowl. Great. They still have superstars. But when those superstars are off the field, we also saw that version of the Rams this year, and it's a very bad team. So the Niners' backups can absolutely handle the Rams' backups. That's not a question. And it depends. If the Rams, I'm waiting. McVay historically has sat guys.
Rams can't. Yeah, the Rams really.
They're in 6 or 7 seed. Is
yeah,
it, but
6 or 7 seeds. So it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. To them.
So they might be sitting guys. So I'm staying away from that. Broncos, Raiders, who gives a fuck? Staying away from that. Raiders
this line,
-3.
That line is begging you to take
the
Vegas.
Raiders. Yeah.
I like Denver.
Near plays for me were the Bucks -4.5. That was a near like for me, but that could be a weird spoiler game with Carolina at home. They play much better at home. And then Falcons and Saints. Saints -3. Kind of wanted to lean the Falcons there, but it's just a fucking mess what's going on there.
Do lean the Falcons there. But I'll tell you, because this is with the Saints, you don't trust
they're
the
so
Saints.
bad after a win.
This is where you don't trust the Saints, ever.
Yeah.
But I will say this to you as a Patriots fan. Path to the 2 pick for New England.
Yeah.
Lose to the Jets. Washington lose to Dallas. Falcons beat New Orleans. It's a strength of schedule thing. Peter Schrager was talking about it today. I was watching. So that's what you need for the 2 pick if you're interested. As a
2 pick's not going to happen. I've already kissed that goodbye. That's not going to happen.
Well, all right.
It's gone.
Just telling you.
They've already won
Too
many games for that number 2 pick, so it's gone.
I think they're going to end up with like 4 or 5.
Yeah, they're going to be right in the 4 or 5 range, something like that. Which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with that. All right, well, let's just jump ahead to our bets. Speaking of the Patriots here, because believe it or not, this is my best bet. Pats -1.5. I am seeing out there right now. Listen, the chatter has already been going on for weeks, and it's escalating even further this week that this could potentially be Bill Belichick's last game as a head coach of the New England Patriots. I'm also getting feels that the possibility of him returning is actually more of a possibility than I had thought it was going to be, based on how this team has played over the under Bailey Zappi and over the past few weeks here. But it's Gillette Stadium. You have the Jets coming into town. Bill Belichick, if this is his last game as a Patriots head coach, it's not going to be losing to the New York Jets. I'm sorry. And the trend obviously backs this too. Robert Saleh is 0-5 straight up and against the spread versus the Patriots. The Patriots have won 15 straight games over the Jets where they've gone 11-4 against the spread. They are going to need to win or want to win desperately in front of that home crowd and in front of the Crafts.
Snow. A lot of snow.
Is there snow?
A lot of snow.
Are you
Depends
serious?
on the model. European models calling for 10 to 16 inches with wind. American models calling for 3 to 6 in the Foxborough
Who's the
area.
quarterback for the Jets now? Is it Simeon?
Well, Wilson's been out with a concussion, so
it's
who
Simeon.
knows? But it's
not going
Simeon.
to be Zach
I think
Wilson.
it's Simeon.
Zach Wilson will not play in this game. Mark my words.
Utah guy. Snowman.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a snow thing. He cannot play against Bill Belichick.
Yeah, they shouldn't play him.
Bill Belichick's not going to lose to the Jets on his home turf with all this.
That would be a brutal way
with
to go.
all of this talk going on about him leaving, and deservedly so, I might say, because of what debacle has been happening with his draft picks and everything like that. This is all very much deserved.
Yeah. 100%.
But Bill's not losing Sunday. Sorry. Pats -1.5. I know this team very well. They're not losing this game against the Jets. I feel quite good about this best bet.
All right. I don't hate it. It's hard to say I like the Jets against the Patriots ever with Belichick coaching. It's not something I'm going to.
I just don't see how the Jets can put anything together against a Belichick defense with that offense looking like it's been.
Not if there's a lot of snow on top of it. I can't see.
And what's the over under in this game? Like 13?
Yeah, it was very low. I think it was approaching 30 when I last looked.
30.5.
30.
Yeah. It's just going to be another gross game.
Cool game.
This is like 9-0 again, something like that.
Think the kicker can make 3 field goals? That's
a touchdown and a safety.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I was just saying, you're missing an extra point there.
Yeah,
a touchdown, extra point, and then miss the extra point, get a field goal. All right.
No, it wouldn't miss the extra point. It'd be 7 points. Safety.
Well, no, the safety. You got the
Safeties
safety. I
too.
like that. Yeah, no.
I'm missing extra points.
Thought you were giving him a field goal and missing an extra point and a touchdown.
No.
Like taking the safety.
Touchdown and safety. That's the score.
9-0 in a beauty at Gillette Stadium.
All right. Can you end the season on an even higher note for your best bet, Matthew?
We're going to try.
Can we get you to 15-3? Is it possible?
I hope so. I feel real good about it. I'll be honest with you. Excuse me. I felt really good. 82% best bets. It's pretty all right.
I'd say that's solid.
14-3. So we're going to try to hit the Week 18 best bet with a win. And I'm going to another must-win scenario. And that is going to happen in Tennessee, where the Jaguars travel to play the Tennessee Titans.
Love this pick.
I am taking the Tennessee Titans plus 5.5.
Absolutely love this pick.
The Titans, I faded last week in my best bet spot and told you that the Texans were just going to crush them in that spot. Loved it. Everything panned out the way I wanted it to. This is my favorite spot to bet Mike Vrabel talk. I love him at home as an underdog. And
Mike Vrabel home playing a spoiler against a divisional team. I love it.
And the media just asked him if they were still looking for draft picks. I forget how the question was worded, and he absolutely snapped. And he said, "I hate fucking losing. I hate it."
Does.
And he snapped. He was not happy. Look, this is the Mike Vrabel spot of all spots. We have the Jaguars, who are going to be giving 5.5 on the road. They're 1-5 in their last 6. Yes, they won 26-0 last week against Carolina.
Congrats.
But that's Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Carolina. I did see the Jags opened up Christian Kirk's window to practice. Let's see if he plays. I think that will be a big addition for them. I think they do get Trevor Lawrence back in this game, but I simply don't care. They're still very banged up on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
The Titans, again, too many points here. I think this is, like I said, I don't care about who the quarterback is for Tennessee. I don't care if it's Will Levis. I don't care if it's Tannehill. I think Levis kind of hit that wall.
It's probably going to be Tannehill.
And you know what? That's fine. Charlie check down. We'll take you. I think it's going to be Derrick Henry's last game as a Titan, which is a big thing. And I think they're going to feed the big man in this game. So that's a big part of this for me. The team's not tanking, as I was talking about. Vrabel will get that team playing. They want to win. They want to play for him. They can play spoiler in this division game. These two teams don't like each other. Last year, it came down to a game on who would win to get to the playoffs, win that division in Jacksonville, and the Jags snuck one out at home to get there. Tennessee would love to return the favor here and keep the Jags out of the playoffs. And if you're giving me 5.5, I feel like you're giving me 3 free points here. I made this game 2.5. So if you're giving me 3 through the key number of 3, give me Mike Vrabel. Give me the team that I think will be fired up to play for their coach, who also, by the way, has all these kinds of rumors out there. Is he returning? Is what's going on with him? Like that's chaos.
Report that was botched.
But the players love him, and at the end of the day, they'll back him. Big Derrick Henry game, plus 5.5. Best bet, Week 18. Let's end it with a win.
I love it. How much do you love it, Matt?
I love it.
Like a lot?
Love it.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just trying to gauge where we're at
excited.
here. You like it like Bills, Bengals? Love it.
That was a unique spot. That was very nice.
I'd say this is a unique spot. I'm not putting pressure on you. I'm just gauging
No,
where you're at.
that's like max pretty much bet that I'll go to.
This?
That game. So, but it's up there.
You're like 75%.
If we're like, put it this way, I was just say 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 on the like factor.
Okay. All right.
All right.
I like it a lot. So there you go.
I feel real good about it. We'll say that.
All right. So best bet for me was Pats -1.5, Tennessee +5.5 there. Anything else you want to touch on?
Yes, I forgot to add my last incentive best bet that I said was tied. I'm glad I just looked at my
related
notes.
to this game, right?
It's actually related to this game.
Yes. Yeah. What was that?
There's 2 of them.
Okay.
And it's with DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh.
Tuck.
Yep.
2 incentives tied to him. $250K for 75 receptions. He's at 68.
Oh, he can get that.
He can get 7 catches in a team that will absolutely feed their guys for money. So 7 catches for Hopkins, $250K. He also gets another $250K if he is at 1,050 yards. He's currently at 1,011, so he needs 49 yards.
Okay.
So I think his total in that game will be over 49 anyways. So just be interesting to look at that one when that pops. The third one, I forgot there's 3 for him. 8 touchdowns, another $250K if he has 8 touchdowns in a year, and right now he's at 6. So I'm playing anytime touchdown, at least for DeAndre Hopkins. I'm also going to take a little shot and play 2 touchdowns for Hopkins. We're going to get a nice price on that.
Yeah.
I'm playing the 7 receptions. I'm playing the over yards because I don't think the yards are going to be like crazy. I think it'll probably be in the 50s. I'm playing them all over because I'm back in the Titans, and I think Henry and Hopkins are the reason I like this so much for the Titans offense. Why wouldn't you? So, best bet, anytime touchdown, DeAndre Hopkins. Best bet prop.
That's the best prop you like?
Yeah, I love that
Okay.
because he's scoring at least
Yeah,
one.
there's nothing listed on that game as of yet.
He's scoring.
Derrick Henry has no incentives coming because he's kind of at a down year.
Yeah,
so.
nothing that I've seen that was anywhere close.
Yeah. He seems like such a Baltimore Raven,
Oh, God.
Doesn't
that'd
he?
be scary.
doesn't he?
He does. He actually really does. Like, oh, God. That's
Rotate him with
interesting.
Keaton Mitchell next year.
Even with him fading a little bit, he's still scary as hell on a team that can move the ball like that. Like the Ravens' run game with him, that's scary.
I'm trying to think of
Scary
who
thought.
else. What other team would Derrick Henry would be a beast? He would look sick in a
Buffalo.
Raiders jersey.
Put him in Buffalo. Just let
Buffalo
him run over
Buffalo
people.
would be
Josh
very good.
Allen.
Buffalo would be
Good luck
excellent,
stopping them from the one.
excellent fit. Yeah. Man. Yeah, we'll talk about that off-season stuff coming up here.
We'll be back for the playoffs.
And next week we'll have our first playoff edition.
Yes. Exciting.
Oh, by the way, nice college basketball Saturday.
Thank you. Yes, 12 and 6 on the Saturday cards. We've
Very
done 3
nice.
of them now, the 6
Very
packs.
nice.
So 12 and 6 there.
There was football mixed in there too, right?
Football's mixed in.
Yeah.
I happen to see my. I don't know if you happen to see my Monday night Twitter card where
No,
I
I didn't
gave
see
out
that.
Michigan money line -120.
Oh, yeah, I played Michigan.
Hit it.
Yeah.
Washington plus
Oh,
4.5.
okay.
Hit it. Washington money line. Hit it.
So-
Washington plus 750 to win the Natty before the Texas game. Still got that ticket.
So I wanted to ask you this. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
I was on Michigan and I went to bed for Washington, so I didn't play that. I did play Washington plus 4.5.
Yeah.
Seems square as fuck, doesn't it?
in this national title game.
Yes.
Here's the deal. It's going to be. I haven't bet this game yet. I do have the ticket of plus 750 with Washington. That's
Oh, wow.
just those odds are just stupid. Washington's been the most undervalued team.
They really have.
all year
I played
long.
them a few times, and I'm not a college guy.
You get down to like the 4. You're in the final 4, and a game that I thought Washington should have been favored in. Never mind, underdog to Texas. So I had to play that. I'm like plus
Sure,
750 to win the national title's crazy. So then people are asking, "Oh, what do you mean you're not picking Washington?" Well, it's not that I'm not picking Washington. I have that ticket. I may play Michigan, but we'll see. I still think Washington can win the game. The one big concern I have for Washington is can their O-line block Michigan's defensive line? They were letting the Penix gets the ball out quick, which is good. And but the secondary is better than Texas. Texas is a horrendous secondary. That's where the mismatch was. They had a coaching edge as well there. They did coaching match levels out here. I love both coaches in this game. It's going to be. This is a close one. I'm playing Washington. I played +5 with the Huskies there. Do I think they win the game? I'm not sure. I'm not so confident on a money line play, but I do have the ticket. I'm riding with that one out.
Yeah, you have to.
And then
I watched the majority of that Michigan-Alabama game, and I came away feeling that Alabama choked it away as opposed to Michigan winning it.
Yeah, here's the thing. The reason I liked Michigan, and I just wanted to get the points throw out, that's why I took the money line in that situation, is because Alabama can't throw. Jalen Milroe's not.
Yeah, really couldn't.
I mean, he's just not. Like, I'm sorry. Like, people, you can say what you want. He is a glorified running back playing quarterback. He's got a strong arm. He can make some throws, but consistently he cannot. We've said this all year about Alabama.
Yeah.
He when he's on. He's great. They weren't even trying to throw. So my thought process in that game was like, Michigan gets a lead, just step on their throat. They're going to try to run. They're not going to happen. Michigan, though, coming back was just a balls drive when they needed to drive. And it happened early, too. They went down 7-0 after the turnover, and that led to a short field touchdown for Alabama. Michigan, in past playoff years, has gone down 14-0 to TCU, 14-0 to Georgia. Like, they're always playing from behind. So here we go again, and it's about to be, could it be 14-0 again? And are we just seeing the same thing with Michigan? Instead, J.J. McCarthy put on one of his best drives of the year to go tie that game at 7. So both times they got behind, he put the team on his back and let them down the field. Blake Corum's a special talent at running back, too. So, like, there's a big injury that we're waiting to see with Dylan Johnson, the running back from Washington. He's been playing with a foot injury all year, and on the final drive, writhing in pain on the ground, unsure if he's going to play. That's a huge, huge question mark in this game. They need him to play if they're going to win this game outright.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like Washington is like the destined team, and they've been playing that way all year. And again, I'm not a college guy, but I do have a good feel on sports in general.
They're a better Cinderella story.
Yeah.
They're better Cinderella than TCU was last year. But TCU had that similar vibe, like, oh, this team, here they go. They just don't lose. And then Georgia beat them by 175 points. So you just like, that game's not going to happen. Michigan's not winning this game by 40+. I would be absolutely stunned. Yeah. I think Washington competes in this game. I think they can win. I'm just not sure where I'm at, really. I played 5. I played +5. I think that's okay.
I played +4.5.
So there you go. Same idea. We'll see. We'll see if I get to another money line play. I'm not laying -200 on Michigan, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Even Portnoy is obviously a huge Michigan guy. He tweeted out the other day. He was just like, I got to be honest, I don't know where +4.5 or 4.5 is coming from because this feels like a pick 'em. And he's a Michigan guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Washington's so undervalued all year long. So I'll take Washington. I'm taking Washington. I played Washington.
But it feels like everybody's taking Washington. Or am I just crazy?
I think might be crazy. I mean, who knows? Okay. The line is high. For me, I think this game should be a field goal game. That would be Michigan -3 makes sense to me.
This could be an overtime game.
They're the better team, in my opinion. They have advantages, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But you can throw some of that out in one game to win it all. Rootin' Huskies. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I mean,
brother's diehard Michigan fan.
Yeah,
maybe bet Washington every which way and just go watch the game.
He'll love that. Tape his reaction. Yeah, there you go. All right, well, nice little bow on this podcast. Very different, I would say, in terms of motivation and scenarios, and sprinkle in some college there and everything like that. Good stuff.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, be careful out there.
Be careful.
So do all the stuff we said earlier. Like us. Please follow. At Bettor in Laws, leave a review. Please do all that stuff. It can only help us grow.
Yes.
Matt, thank you.
Tucker, let's end the year with 2 best bet winners.
Yes, that would be tremendous. All right, everybody. We will talk to you during the playoffs next week, but good luck in Week 18 and enjoy the ride.